Welcome back, True Seeker. February 20th, 2025, and some headlines to go over, several of them connected to Black History Month. And as we see year after year, when Black History Month comes around, so do the premature deaths of Black people from the entertainment world, from the sports world, and also a lot of times ritual shaming, all things we've already covered this month. But the list grows. Recall on the 43rd day of the year, Ohio State announced the death of two former players. And of course, Ohio State won the college championship this year on Inauguration Day, January 20th. Now they lose a member of the last championship team, the 2014 team, 30-year-old defensive tackle Donovan Munger. And they're saying his cause of death isn't known, but they mentioned that he suffered from blood clots, which brought his football career to an end in 2016. We'll get to the blood clot thing because, of course, Wembanyama's in the news for having his season shut down, supposedly due to blood clots. And we're going to talk about what blood clots have to do with Thursday. And we're also going to talk about Mabel Landry's death in the news, the only woman in the track and field Olympics event of 1952 in Helsinki, Russia. Remember when Putin and Trump got together in Helsinki and Trump gave him a football? We're going to talk about her death at 92 days after her birthday. And it seems that yesterday, we were all over this yesterday on Patreon, Lavar Ball being in the news for losing his leg. It was amputated, and it was the big trending tabloid news before the only game in the NBA after the All-Star break, which was the Hornets playing in Los Angeles, playing in Hollywood. And of course, LeVar Ball wanted his sons to all end up as big ballers. Two of them are in the NBA. One just got a recording contract, and his son made the winning basket beating the Lakers last night. We're going to see how perfect the script was. The amputation script, literally, in the rigged NBA where it's nothing but actors. And I'm seriously wondering if his leg is like Captain Dan from Forrest Gump. Did he really lose that leg? I mean, if he did, if he really chopped off his leg for his son's success in the world of rigged entertainment, in a way, you almost got to respect it. It's like, wow, making some serious sacrifices for your children. But then again, we see a lot of these people are actually sacrificing their family members. So maybe giving up the leg isn't that big of a deal after all. And then we're also going to talk about the mass firings. The Apprentice is back in office and people are fired left and right. Mass firings at the IRS today. We're going to see how all of these stories just fit together so perfectly with what we always talk about on Thursday. I'm sure you guys know what I call Thursday, right? 35 Thursday. We're going to see how it all comes together. Let's start here with the death of the 30-year-old former Ohio State football player. Again, we see this happen every single year. I mean, it's clockwork every single year. In 2020, I even went down to the LSU campus to teach on the campus about it. All the people that died connected to the city of New Orleans and the LSU football team for that LSU championship over Clemson. We've been talking about it since way before 2020. We've been talking about it every year since. It's clockwork. Every year, people die connected to the schools that win these rigged championships. And remember, it was Johnny Gaudreau's death just before the season began, who played for the Columbus Blue Jackets, that was a major sign that Ohio State very well could win the championship this year. Again, preseason, we put in a future for three teams: Ohio State, Notre Dame, and Georgia. We had all three of those teams covered. We were very confident that Georgia and Notre Dame were going to meet up in the college football playoff, possibly the championship. And if it wasn't one of those two teams, it would be Ohio State because of Johnny Gaudreau. Championship ended up being Ohio State over Notre Dame. And again, I'll remind people, Johnny Gaudreau, number 13, dies. Ohio State keeps Oregon on 13 wins, Texas on 13 wins, Notre Dame on 13 championships. A number divisible by 13 is 52, and this man wore 52 like the cards in the deck. But yeah, again, they're saying they don't know what his cause of death is. His mother announced the death on social media, did at the very young age of 30. And then what's written about is how he suffered from a blood clot problem. And of course, this is big with Wembanyama today. Again, if you're new here, gematria, there are 4 base ciphers of the English language. You learn this code, you see through the ritualism that goes on every single day. It's the alphabetic order with numerology. Let me pull this down a little bit so you can see the ciphers. The alphabetic order with numerology, the reverse alphabetic order with numerology. And for the time being, I just want these two ciphers up here, the alphabetic order and the reverse alphabetic order. Notice how blood clot and Thursday are the exact same, 35 and 46, right? The exact same, 35, 46, blood clot Thursday. In the Wembanyama story, they even mention that he'd played 46 games for the year as he gets shut down for blood clots. And 46 is a fateful number. It has to do with Genesis 46 in the Bible, which has to do with sacrifice. See a lot of suspicious death connected to this number 46. The woman who's dead, the track star from the 52 Olympics, 1952, number 52 is dead on the news. Again, you pay attention, you'll see that the numbers are bunched together day after day. It's ritualism in number. And this whole thing of letters and numbers comes from Kabbalah. Kabbalah is related to the Torah, the first 5 books of the Old Testament. And again, it's where a lot of these numbers come from. You can see that sacrifice is also 62. Look at Donovan, Munger, 62, right? Did you notice that sacrifice was also 73? It's 73 years after 1952 when the woman was in the Olympics. But notice she's from Chicago, right? Chicago, 35-46. Remember, Chicago won their only Super Bowl with 46 points with the revolutionary 4-6 defense. She went to DePaul, the Catholic school. Notice how Catholic is 35 and 46. The woman who's dead, the track star, dead at 92 days after her birthday. Again, went to DePaul, the Catholic school in Chicago. Learn your numbers. Just yesterday, they played a team and they picked up their 23rd win over DePaul. Again, the games are rigged. The news is rigged. The ritual sacrifices. All of it comes by the numbers. You learn this little code of ABC 1, 2, 3. You see through what's going on. And seriously, even if you don't know the code, I mean, I don't know how more people don't catch on with the ritualistic deaths. It's not just college, it's pro. I mean, what they did this year before the World Series, I mean, they've done a lot of things that were just absolutely blatant. But I'd say what they did before this World Series was one of the most blatant things ever, that Fernando and Valenzuela and Rudy May died right before the World Series began, and they pitched against each other in Game 3 of the last time the Yankees and Dodgers played in the World Series. I mean, it's amazing to me how nobody blinks an eye. But yeah, some people go, well, he had a health problem. He had a blood clot problem. Oh, okay. Yeah, and he lived, until just right after Ohio State wins the championship, and this stuff goes on every year. Half the time they'll tell you the guy died in a car crash, or he was found dead, or he slipped in his shower, or it was an overdose, or he fell out a window. That was literally one we saw maybe 7-8 years ago. Went over the balcony or out of a window. It's like, interesting. Okay. There are some other things that are interesting here. I just want to show you what's in his name, actually. You wonder how people get chosen. Donovan Munger equates to 163. Notice that's the 38th prime number. Remember, death, murder, killing, RIP, they all equal 38. That poster behind me, murder by numbers, the E's changed to a 3, the B's changed to an 8. Murder equals 38 and 83. The song Murder by Numbers came out in 83. Again, that film stars Sandra Bullock. Her name equals 83. It came out 38 weeks after her birthday. But 38, very fateful number. So his name had the 163 in it, the 38th prime. 64, kill equals 64. 62, sacrifice equals 62. And remember, Torah equals 62, which is where the whole Kabbalah code is mostly coming out of. See, like how Torah is 26, so is God, so is Adam. Man makes God in the 26th verse. Some of these athletes get worshipped as God, such as people like Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan, who have the 26. And of course, Kobe dies at age 26. Pay attention for Jordan tributes all year. He just turned 62 on February 17th. So there's going to be a lot of tributes to Jordan at this symbolic age. And keep in mind, Jordan's mentioned in the Bible, in the Torah, as in the biblical land, the Jordan River. But yeah, it is really sad. And oh, by the way, by the way, his name Donovan, right? He's dead 31 days after the championship game was played. Donovan just happens to equal 31. He's dead at 30. His surname Munger has the 30 in it. And the thing about 30 is it's also a number connected to Black history in terms of things like slavery and Tuskegee and the N-word. It has a nasty racial connotation. So, again, dead in Black History Month. And remember, slavery is also 102. Like the feds recognized Black History Month on the 10th day of the month when the majority of the world writes the date 10/2. So, yeah. RIP to Donovan Munger, and another year, another championship, and another one where a lot of people had to die for it. How many people at the Ohio State campus will never find this knowledge because big tech, which is controlled by this same Jesuit cabal that does this, works so hard to keep information like this super suppressed in the algorithm and buries it with all the other crap that they promote to the top of everyone's social media feeds. Okay, so again, Wembanyama, he's got the blood clots. Donovan Munger supposedly had the blood clots. But one more time, blood clot 35 and 46, just like Thursday. And they had to tell you that he'd played in 46 games this year. And we did cover this in today's live stream earlier. There are some other things that are interesting about this. Uphill took the advice from the liars that control the TV and went out and got the experimental pokey-dokes, and then they ended up with clot problems and myocarditis and ended up in the grave. Some of them did, and turbo cancers. And there's a lot of things in the name Victor Wembanyama that are quite interesting. Again, just to go over his name. Whoops, I spelled it wrong here. Hold on, that's not how you spell his name. I tried to spell his name myself off the top of my head, and I got it all wrong. Hold on. Let me get his actual name spelled correctly here. I know I got the gematria right, but I did not have the spelling right. Here's the right spelling. All right, 185.68. Again, basketball, 185.68. His name's also 94, like the basketball court is 94 feet long. 247, like how he was drafted into the NBA while the country was 247 years old. But that virus that got everybody, the experimental jabs in their body that for a lot of people led to clotting. Again, this word right here, corona, and then the virus part, that word was coined in 68. Just like how basketball has the 68, like how his name has the 68. 94. Remember, the pandemic was declared the same day the NBA was locked down, and the name of the pandemic is 94 as well, and it was blamed on the Frenchman, Rudy Gobert. Here we have another Frenchman. Again, it's the Jesuitor behind every last one of these things I'm exposing. They gave us the language and the calendar, the ones executing all this stuff. Again, the Jesuits came from France, and notice how the name of the pandemic is also 113, like it was declared on the 11th day of the third month. And again, that's the big number with the National Basketball Association. We call it the 113 League. But, I think that's also all part of the sick joke. And I would speculate that he doesn't have any blood clots, and it's really just a way for the Spurs to tank the second half of their season so they can get another high draft pick and have another big star alongside Wemby. Because, again, it is just a completely rigged league with nothing but ritual, and all these people's careers are completely stage managed. Think about how many times we've talked about LeBron sitting out with the fake injury so they can save this game for the ritual upcoming for this opponent. And it's not just LeBron. I mean, they do this all the time. Everything is stage managed by the Kabbalists. Everything has to be number perfect. And again, the woman who's dead today fits in with the Thursday 35-46 pattern. One more time, Thursday 35 and 46, like Chicago, where she's from. And she was in the games in Helsinki, which have the gematria 42, like February, also like slavery, also like Tuskegee, of course, like Jackie, of course, like the N-word, of course, like Huxtable, of course, like Cosby Show, and a million other things, Like every black celebrity that was given a different name than their birth name. I'm talking about Martin, 42. I'm talking about Malcolm X, 42. I'm talking about Muhammad Ali, 42, on and on and on. Helsinki has that code. And this woman's died in Black History Month. And again, she's died at 92 days after her birthday, which means you could also say that she died on her 93rd day of her age. In other words, say either 92 days after the birthday or on her 93rd day of her age, which means you included the day she was born. It's like if I was talking about the day after your birthday, I'd say, oh, that's one day after your birthday. Or that's your second day of being your age. So Black History Month has the 93. That's why I bring that up. And remember, that number's all over Black History Month, too. Look at Malcolm X, 93. Martin Luther King Jr., 93. Malcolm X and Martin Luther King Jr. only met one time in history on a date with 93 numerology. It was March 26, 64. 3 plus 26 plus 64. Louise Macaulay Parks. No, what am I doing? Is it, hold on. It's Rosa Louise. Yeah, I forgot the Rosa. Rosa Louise Macaulay Parks, her full name. I think I put the I got like the, I think it's like that. Hold on. I'll just show you. Her full name is 93. Rosa Louise Macaulay Parks. Yeah, there you go. That's another number all over Black history. So this woman, a big part of Black history, the only woman to compete in track and field in the 52 Olympics. I mean, imagine that. It'd be a high honor. The only woman. And in light of the 92 thing, keep in mind that is the reflection of 29. Black's got the old 29 connection. Oh, I meant to bring something up. Mabel Statonn, her name after marriage, 67. Today, the date of her death, February 20th, 2025. 2 plus 20 plus 20 plus 25 is 67. And Donovan Munger, the football player who's dead. Or hold on. I'm tripping. What is it again? Actually, no, he didn't have the 67 connection. But the other thing about 67 is that we talk about a lot is blood sacrifice is 67, and so is human sacrifice. So it was a date with that kind of numerology. You know, his story is the one that people might question. No one will question this one, sadly. But again, they'll say, well, she was 92. Did you see that Tyler Perry movie that he recently put out about the black women in World War II and how they were used to solve the crisis of the U.S. Postage backlog? Because at one point the military decided they weren't going to notify the families of the war dead, so they stopped sending the letters. So it got backed up with like millions of letters because they just stopped sending all mail. And according to the movie, they had, like airplane hangars just full of mail, several airplane hangars just full of mail to send. So they got the black women to send it out. Again, you might have seen this. They added it to Netflix a few months back if you have Netflix. Anyway, when they get to the end of that movie, if you saw it, and they get to the very end of the movie, they're interviewing supposedly the real women, and it's like putting them on the screen. Age 105, age 105, age 102. All these women supposedly still alive and into their hundreds. And I mean, if that's true, I'm just like, okay, can we talk more to these women and figure out what they were doing? I mean, how many women are living into their hundreds? Got like a whole, it's like, they made it seem like they were all still alive, like interviewing them at age. But so this is the point I'm making. If, again, just because someone dies at 92 doesn't mean you knew they're going to die at 92. She might have been apparently like one of the women from this movie who's going to live well into her hundreds. And yeah, it's just the way it happens. Dead at 92 days after her birthday, getting the reflection of 29, going with the whole black thing. Dead 73 years. after those games. Another sacrifice code. And don't forget, it's not just sacrifice that's 73. Ritual sacrifice is also 73. Okay. This Lavar Ball thing. He sacrificed his foot yesterday. So his son, who played yesterday and beat the Lakers, it was 181 days after his son's birthday, right? 181. Black History is 181. Black History is also 73. I almost overlooked that with regards to the woman's death. Black History, though, 181. That's the 42nd prime number. Okay, we just went over all the 42s. And as for the dad, it was 119 days after his birthday, which is also 17 weeks, like we call the NBA the 17 league. But notice, it was 119 days after the dad's birthday that he gets his leg amputated. And do you see how amputate's also 97? Did you catch the score of the game after this was the big news before the game? Here, in case you missed it, here was the score of the game. His son wins the game, and the Lakers stay stuck on 97 points. And, of course, the Hornets had to come in with 13 wins, like Kobe was the 13th pick of the draft by the Hornets before he was traded to the Lakers in 13 land. And what else is interesting is the name Lavar is 81. Lavar Ball is also 81. And we know where that fit in with Kobe, right? Just might have Charlotte being the team Kobe was drafted by. And earlier this year, the Lakers got their 26th win over the Hornets. Last night, the Hornets got their 26th win in the series with the Lakers. So, and don't forget how Kobe died on the 37th anniversary of Bear Bryant. Bryant's 37, Los Angeles is 37, Wednesday's 37. Last night, Charlotte became 3-7 versus the Lakers since Kobe's death. But yeah, again, we looked at that and we said, there's no way that's a coincidence. There's no way it's a coincidence that this is the big tabloid story before the only game in the NBA, right after it comes back from the All-Star break, where it's his son facing the Lakers. And wasn't one of the Balls drafted by the Lakers, come to think of it? Wasn't one of them drafted by the Lakers? Melo Ball was drafted by the Hornets like Kobe. Lonzo Ball. Lonzo was drafted by the Lakers in 2017. And again, it was exactly 17 weeks after the father's birthday. And the father's, their family's from the LA area, Chino Hills. But yeah, this world of celebrity, man, it's wicked as everything. And the psychopaths at the top who make these people make these sacrifices, it's just creepy as everything. And you think about it, though. I mean, if you were a father and your better years were behind you, it's not like Lavar Ball's all that old. And you know, you got your sons on the world stage. Who knows exactly how it goes down, but maybe he's told, man, if you don't give up this leg, this, and this is going to happen. Here, you give up the leg, this, and this, then this doesn't happen. And guess what? Your son gets the game winner tonight, Lavar. Trust me, you've got the whole story written up in the news. It's going to read just like this. Lavar Ball had his right foot amputated after suffering a serious medical condition. Oh, how vague is that? A serious medical issue. Okay, can we get some more information on that? Probably in 81 days, we'll probably get the update. Oh, TMZ found out what the serious medical issue was. And it just reminds me that, you know, I grew up with Derek Ravio, used to be star player at Gonzaga, and his father's a little bit younger than my father, but they went to Benson High School in Portland. That's also where AC Green went. AC Green, the career virgin, if you guys know AC Green. But Derek Ravio's father was drafted into the NBA, and his career was cut short right at the beginning because he supposedly dropped a chainsaw on his leg. And I always thought that was weird. But, you know, his sons grew up and were all those kids ever did was walk around with basketballs in both hands. They were the first people I ever saw do that. I was like, that's smart to have two basketballs. Derek used to always go to class dribbling both basketballs in both hands down the hallway. The security guard would be like, Derek, stop. The coach is like, nah, keep it up, Derek. You're our star point guard. But yeah, Derek went and played professionally in Europe, but it just makes me wonder what really happened to his dad, you know? Because I always thought that was weird. I was like, how does he drop a chainsaw on his leg? Like, how do you do that? Like, really, you're that careless? You're the star athlete. You're in the pros, and you just drop a chainsaw on your leg. That was the story. So, nah, it's because there's some serious weird stuff going on, and who knows? Maybe he's even told, you do this right now, you forfeit your career. We'll make sure your boys, they got a spot. And I mean, his sons were good basketball players, but they worked hard at it. It's like all they did. So this just reminds me of the same thing, except for it's more severe. And his sons are actually in the NBA. Okay. And then just one more. Thousands of IRS employees fired because The Apprentice is back. IRS, look, you guys, it's Thursday, right? IRS 3546. Thursday, 3546. Goes on every week. Every week. And the story is your tax returns are likely going to be very delayed this year. So oh, one other thing that I got a kick out of. This year marks 163 years since the IRS was created by Lincoln. Had to pay for the war. That's the thing about these wars. Somebody's got to pay the bill for them. IRS employees, right? That's the story today. IRS employees fired in the droves. But again, this is the year that the IRS turns 163 years old. And again, that's 38th prime. That's a big number in the capital city, too, because it's on the 38th parallel north. But something tells me that's not an accident. 163 is the 38th prime. Lincoln's also got that 38 connection. Lincoln, another president who got smoked by the Jesuit code on 14/4, like this year's election was 144 days after Trump's birthday, after he got the fake shooting story synced up with RFK, who entered the race 144 days after the Superior General's birthday, when his dad died at 1:44 a.m. and his uncle died 144 days from meeting with the Pope, RFK and JFK. So anyway. Open up always with the generosity. 25 days after Kobe's death anniversary, Trump announces Kobe statue to be placed National Garden of American Heroes. Hold on. Oh, it looks like multiple statues. Trump announces Kobe Bryant, Muhammad Ali, and Jackie Robinson statues for National Garden of American Heroes. Today's 220, right? Donald John Trump 220, like how the inauguration was 220 days after his birthday. Today can be written 20/2, like 202. That's the DC area code, 202. What is this National Garden of American Heroes? What's that about? Oh, it's just this brand new thing that's been proposed. Look at that. He announced it on July 3rd, right? He announced it on 7/3, this idea, Black History Month. Or hold on. What is it? It's Black History. Oh, well, Black History Month is 78, like Trump's age right now. Black History alone is 73. But let's see real quick from Biden to revoke the orders. Trump's bringing it back. Let's see, from July 3rd, 2020, when he announced it. And that was after Kobe's death earlier that year. It's 241 weeks and 6 days, or a span of 242 weeks. Interesting number, 242. It just reminds me of Jackie, number 42, losing his son at 24. When Kobe died, they had to say he crashed in the 4200 block. Finished his career wearing 24. And again, he crashed in the middle of a dirt field, but they had to report 4200 block. Let's see. Look at that. From Kobe's death to the day that Trump proposed it was 159 days later. Donald Trump is 159. Donald Trump's had a lot of weird rituals with helicopters. Of course, that was Trump's last year in office. The whole Kobe thing was foretold in the Black Mamba short film by Nike, and also the Comedy Central spoof. It came out November 16th or 1611, like the year the King James Bible was published. Again, King 41, Kobe Bryant 41. He's dead at 41. LeBron wins the finals that year, 41 weeks after his birthday on Father-Daughter Day. National Garden of American Heroes. It's got the 146 like Trump's birthday, 14/6. Let's see. And in a sense, all three of these guys have the 42 connection because, again, Jackie's 42, not his birth name. Muhammad Ali's 42, not his birth name. And Kobe's connection to 42 is through the Lakers. Keep in mind, it's a snake year. He's the Black Mamba. President Donald Trump announced Thursday that the National Garden of American Heroes will be getting statues of American sports legends. During a Black History Month ceremony at the White House, Trump revealed that late NBA star Kobe Bryant, late boxing star Muhammad Ali, and late civil rights icon MLB pioneer Jackie Robinson will all be represented with statues in the garden. Real quick, I got to check one other thing out here. From Kobe's death to today, 264 weeks and 4 days. 60 weeks and days. This was the 60th election. Jackie Robinson's birthday is 5 days later, January 31st. When did they say they're going to do this? In addition to the legendary athletes getting statues, Trump announced multiple civil rights leaders in the other fields, including Martin Luther King Jr., Harriet Tubman, Rosa Parks, Billie Holiday, Aretha Franklin, Coretta Scott King, and Frederick Douglass will also get statues. All right, doesn't look like they set a hard date for it yet, but no doubt it'll be very ritualistic. They chose a photo from February 19th, 2012. It's a date with 33 numerology. Kobe. Okay. Yeah, appreciate that. Open up. Thanks for the generosity again and the heads up. I just realized one more. Today is 251 days after Trump's birthday, the 54th prime. And remember, 251. That's, again, Trump's birthday is the day leaving 200 days left in the year. Today's the 51st day of the year, so 200 plus 51. Pretty easy math. But remember, the day before Kobe died was January 25th. The majority of the world writes that date 25/1, like 251. LeBron passed Kobe in points scored in Kobe's hometown, Philly, dribbling over the Black Snake and laying in the 54th points, dropping Kobe to 4th in points scored all time, 4 associated with death, and then Kobe dies the next day in LA, which has the 4 connection. I mean, look at LA. Has the 4 connection, has the 13 connection like his daughter. Gianna Bryant also equals 54. 41 like his age. Hold on. What was the helicopter pilot's name? Kobe helicopter pilot. What was his name? Oh, yeah. Check out this guy's name, Gematria. Ara Zobayan. 41, right? 41 and 58, actually, just like Kobe Bryant. 41 and 58. Los Angeles Lakers also has the 58. Trump won the 58th election with 1,058 rituals, and then Kobe Bryant dies in his last year in office. Think about it. Now he's putting up the statue. It's like if Kobe's really dead, he was partly sacrificed for Trump. What if people figured that out? People are trying to get all this, street cred. Look at what we're doing. Look at me. I'm putting up all these statues of all these dead black men who were sacrificed by a code that nobody's ever going to tell you about. Give me all the credit for it. All right, we'll keep tabs on that story. One other thing about today has date numerology, the exact same date numerology as January 26, 2020. Lesser date numerology of 47, greater date numerology of 67. Getting that blood sacrifice code. And what is it? Calabasas. Yeah, Calabasas also had the 67 in it. And 59 like Black Mamba. And who won Super Bowl 59? Kobe Bryant's Eagles. By the way, this little story up here. Israel says Bebas boys were among the dead bodies returned by Hamas. Now, if that story is true, that's horrible and tragic, right? But think about how many brown people were blown up in Gaza, all the children's hospitals and everything else bombed, where you never got a story like that in your mainstream media in the U.S. Do you ever remember them naming some of the Hamas children that got blown to pieces? Nah, never happened, right? So just think about the way programming works. Whenever that was a story that they bombed a hospital or a children's hospital because they thought the terrorists were underneath, they just estimates of 100 dead women and children. That's how the story would be written. It'd be like, and it wouldn't even be a top story. It'd be like a subheadline further down the CNN page. But again, that's how the programming works. Israeli children, valuable. You should care about it. You should have an emotional response. Brown children blown to pieces, statistics. And it's crazy how a lot of people just, they let the programming just work just like that for them. That's exactly how they think about it. Exactly like how they were told to think about it, because they have no independent thought. They have no critical thinking skills. So. And yeah, about Open Up's comment about 25 days after the Kobe death anniversary. Again, Trump's 25, felons 25, the first felon president 2025. Of course, death has the 25 time. Yeah. All right. Great comment as always. Thank you. And John Mendoza, always with the generous dollars. The pilot does. That's what we were saying at the time, that Kobe's pilot did look like Kobe in whiteface. We're like, man, this isn't like the Dave situation with Michael Jackson, is it? I mean, is that how they did it? Did Hollywood put on the mask? Stuff's funnier than a Jim Carrey movie when you're 8 years old. Arazobian. Remember, they showed you that Kobe took off from a certain helicopter in the John Wayne Airport, and then they showed you a different one crashed on the 4200 block. So, again, if I really had to bet on it, I would think Kobe's out there somewhere, but you just never know. They might have taken him out and then just create the fake crash scene and tell you that's what happened. That's another thing that very well could have happened. So. All right. Let's leave it there, though. The stream went longer than I intended. In Jewish gematria, Kobe equals 67. I don't know if I realized that all these years. Good one. That's our young genius. Not even 21 yet. Well done. Always with the great finds. All right, you guys. We'll leave it there. Have a good rest of your night. And until next time, True Seeker.